Thank you so much, Mr. Ihab Najm, Mr. Alaa Zuhairi, Ms. Niveen Sabbour, and Mr. Ahmed Isa for such a fruitful panel. And now we have Mr. Ramses Gallego in an informative session with the title, The Future Can't Wait. Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. The future depends on what we do today. The future depends on what we do today. The quote is not mine, but Gandhi's. Gandhi's. And I think that it captures beautifully the way this GRC summit has been crafted. Ignite the future. Embrace the future. Because the future depends on the fundamental questions that we are experiencing today. I mean it, today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. In this GRC summit, in governance, risk, and compliance, who has access to what? Am I correct? The future depends on what we do today. By the way, a future that can't wait. A future that will not wait. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ramses Gallego. I am Chief Technology Cybersecurity with DXC. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be for my very first time in Egypt. Yes, I said that. My name is Ramses, by the way. Thank you. It's my very first time to be in Egypt. Actually, thank you, ISACA Cairo chapter. Thank you for having me. Thank you, all of the sponsors. Thank you, GRC Summit at large. Thank you, the country, for hosting me. Hopefully not for the first time, but hopefully for many, many more times. Listen, I'm a world traveler. I travel the world. I fly more than a pilot. I mean it. If you check my agenda, I'm scheduled to be in South Africa next week, actually Chicago, Illinois, Orlando, Florida. That's what I do for a living. I go, I speak, I share, I inform, and I educate. Hopefully I inspire. Actually, I travel so much that I have made a suit made out of visas and passports. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Check it out. Are you getting that in camera? Yeah, I promise. I mean, I made it. This is tailor-made. And then I chose, wow, that's me in the future of now. Again, I'm so honored of being for my very first time in Egypt, you know. I'm 51 years old. I'm from Barcelona, Spain. And my name being Ramses, I promise, this is not a joke. This is not a fake. This is me. This is me, I promise. I promise. Thank you very much. I promise. 5 years old. This picture... And again, this is not AI generated. I promise. This picture has been sitting with my mom for the past 46 years waiting for this very moment. I mean it. I mean, this is not a fake. This has 46 years. It's a 46-year-old. And that's me. That's me, 5 years old, you know, celebrating, applauding, enjoying having that peculiar name, the King of Kings. Am I correct? The King of Kings. So let's start, actually. But again, I get so emotional when I think of all of the many months that the organization has been dealing with me, you know, about the session, about the topic. And again, ISACA, I'm an ISACA Hall of Fame. There are only 10 in the world. Well, I am one of the Hall of Famers. I have been International Vice President at the Board of Directors with ISACA worldwide. I am President of the Barcelona chapter, which is good. But I've been worldwide International Vice President at the board. And I say it with pride, but I also say it in a humbled way, because I'm serving. I came here, I flew all the way from Barcelona, Spain, to serve you today. To tell you about the future of right now. The future of right now that has to do, that the future is happening. Actually, unfortunately, I don't speak your beautiful language. I do not. I speak 4 languages, but yours is not one of those. But what I'm going to say next works in English, in Spanish, in Catalan, by the way. Have you realized that the present, the future, the present, the past, you know, when I talk about the future of right now, when I talk about that, I think a lot about the future of right now, the present. The present. Have you realized the present is a gift, isn't it? In English, I mean. A present. In Catalan, un present. In Spanish, un presente. Something that you give, a present. So let's use it. Let's use it of the future of now. And by the way, this has already happened in science fiction movies, am I correct? When we dislike our future, When we dislike what is going to happen in the future, in movies, what we do is we send people back to the past, well, to the present, well, whatever. You know, we send people in order to right a wrong, am I correct? I mean, we send the Terminator back in order to kill John Connor, because John Connor, you know, creates a Skynet, and you know, on August the 19th, you know the drill, right? In X-Men, Days of Future Past, it happens the same. When we dislike our future, we try to fix it. So my question, ladies and gentlemen, for you today on governance, on risk, on compliance, on assurance, on risk mitigation, on risk identification, on cybersecurity, identity and access management, access control, endpoint protection, you name it. The question is, why don't we do it right now? Why don't we ask the right questions now on AI about policies and procedures and endpoint protection and who has access to what, when, and how the access was granted? If we are going to dislike our future, why don't we do it right now? That's my proposal today on the future can wait, right? And actually, I was thinking on, again, coming back to the cradle of humanity, being in this amazing, beautiful country of yours, going back to the beginning, going back to the roots, going back to the fundamental questions. And you can call it cybersecurity, governance, risk, compliance, you can call it audit, you can call it whatever you want, but at the beginning, in the book of life, I didn't say in the business book, sir. I didn't say in the corporate playbook, madam. No, I said in the book of life, at the beginning, who has access to what, when and how the access was granted, for how long, says who, how can I bring full traceability, how can I know? Those are the fundamental questions, am I correct? And then we call it whatever you want to call it, governance, risk, compliance, cybersecurity, assurance, auditing, management, controls, indicators, metrics, whatever you want. But going back to the beginning is the name of the game. Actually, the name of the game, and I massively celebrate how the organization has given us this beautiful gift, you know, the scarab with the sun. I love the explanation, by the way. But in the leaflet that you have inside the gifts, it says, spearhead digital transformation. Digital transformation is another one of the terms of the epoch, right? Digital transformation. I mean, if you said it with the right voice, it looks like a TV series, you know? Digital transformation, now streaming on your device, season 2, you know? Something like that. Digital transformation? Well, yes, but the name of the game, I think, in my line of work, and in yours, madam, and in yours, sir, is radical innovation, doing different things differently. Let me say it again. Different things differently. When the adverb comes in differently, it changes many things in a different way. Am I correct? A different speed, in different zones, in different regions, with a different approach. Why? Because in a landscape, my line of work is cybersecurity, but in my line of work, and again, hopefully in yours, whichever business you're in, healthcare, government, retail, telco, education, energy, oil, gas, distribution, supply chain, food. At the end of the day, the threat landscape is ever expanding, am I correct? It's like the universe is not going back, ever. Because suddenly you have new applications, new devices, new clouds, and then new networks and new systems. Oh my God. So the attack surface is ever expanding. So this is why I'm telling you that the bad guys, cyber criminals, excuse me, I meant criminals. That's what I meant. So you can call it cyber if you will. Criminals, that's what I meant. I mean, they are trying different things differently. Different things differently. So you, madam, and you, we the good guys, we need to embrace digital transformation, yes, big time. But radical innovation is the name of the game. In a world that is not simple, yeah, I get it, I give it to you. It is not that simple. Because we have databases and clouds, and we have, look here, I love it. You see here, the Internet of Things? Are you familiar with IoT? The Internet of Things, IoT, the Internet of Things, IoT? Well, excuse my French, fuck me, the Internet of Things, the Internet of Threats. The Internet of Threats, IoT, the Internet of Trouble, IoT. the Internet of Trouble, and then the rest. Identity, data, applications, application security, endpoint protection, databases, data lakes. Welcome to the world of AI, quantum computing. I teach on quantum computing, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, you invite me next year, quantum computing is a great topic, but that's for another presentation. Yeah, but I teach on quantum around the world. The challenges that are being presented in a world with no secrets, in a world with no borders. So unfortunately, I should say. So, it is not easy. Sometimes it is not even cheap. Yes, I said that. It takes time. It requires effort. It requires drive and resiliency. Resiliency, sir, the capacity to endure. I am not making this up. The dictionary says so. Resiliency, the capacity to endure. On your feet, soldier. On your feet, because they will come. So how ready are you? The capacity to endure on the journey from cybersecurity to cyber resiliency in a world that is not simple. I came all the way from Barcelona, Spain to let you know about the 3 V's of change. The 3 V's of change. The velocity of change, the variety of change, and the volume of change. I'm going to say it again. The velocity of change, everything goes very, very fast. Too fast these days. The variety of change, how many platforms do you have to support, sir? How many different flavors of things do you have to manage, madam? Yeah, let me know how many Linuxes and iOSs and clouds and applications and network, how many, the velocity, the variety, and then the volume of change, am I correct? Billions, millions, sometimes trillions of events per day. If you are big enough, if you are a government big enough, a company big enough, and I'm sure that there are companies in here that are super big, if you do the math, trillions of events per day. Just multiply numbers of users times numbers of platforms times numbers of applications, multiply by numbers of routers and networks and clouds, and easy, billions per day. But the question is not the velocity, the variety of the volume of change. Well, it is. But the fourth V, the value of changing. The value of embracing change. In governance, in risk, and in compliance, the value of doing the right things rightly. In the very same way that this country has built, wow, oh my God, amazing things, you know. But when you build something, and you Egyptians, you know what I'm saying, on building an empire, well, when you want to build something, you want it to be remembered, am I correct? You want it to be beautiful. And you have to measure things, and you want to use good materials. Look at the pyramids, right? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Well, enterprise architecture is not that different. You want it to be robust and solid and to be remembered. However, in these very digital times, you need flexibility, am I correct? You need to be liquid. I love it. Not just elastic, but it needs to be liquid. Because when it's not COVID, unfortunately, it's war. Yeah, war, I said that, war. Next door, you know? So unfortunate. And when it's not war, it's another thing. It's political changes and geopolitical challenges. So you better be liquid. You better move with the times. Enterprise architecture is not that different. And what is even more important is that it has to be not just, look at my hands, not just connected, but integrated. Not just touching, I mean, this is connected to that, security is connected to auditing, and then assurance is highly, no, not anymore. We don't live in silos anymore, am I correct? Anyone in the room thinks that privacy, whatever you want to call it, it's just a silo? That identity management and access control is not enrooted with privacy? Or application security, application management has nothing to do with identity or access control? Well, think again. With all due respect, think again. Because it has to be not just connected, but highly integrated, right? I know that you know, but I need you to know that I know as well. I know that I'm 51 years old. I know the definition of governance by heart. And if I can do it, you should do it as well. And your team should be able to go on stage, even if it's just for 2 minutes, but they should know the governance definitions by heart. Well, governance is that set of responsibilities exercised by board of directors, steering committees, open a parenthesis. In my opinion, everyone in the, I think the definition is faulty because it says that those guys at the top, well, not really. Governance is a matter of everyone, but that's my perception. Let me close the parenthesis. So governance is the set of responsibilities exercised by, everyone, in my opinion, but board of directors and steering committees with 4 goals, 4 and only 4. And you will remember that, easy, right? It's not 14, it's just 4. Setting a strategic direction, making sure that objectives are met. Let me pause here for a second. Strategy and tactics. Governance is about strategy and tactics. Setting a strategic direction, making sure that objectives are met, ascertaining that the risks are managed. Listen, I said risks in plural. In plural. It's not just one risk or it's just risk. No. It's credit risk, fraud risk, public image risk, reputational risk, enterprise risk, technology risk. Well, actually, enterprise risk belongs to the overarching umbrella of enterprise risk management, truth to be told. But in any case, the risks are minimized, are managed, are lowered, and I love the 4th one as well. And then the responsible use of resources, there you go. In just 30 seconds, you had a beautiful chapter of corporate governance. Strategy, tactics, risk management, and performance management of the responsible use of resources, there you go. And with that definition, anyone in the room should be able to talk for days. For days, I mean it. Strategy, tactics, short or mid-term, then risk management and the responsible use of resources. In a world, as I said before, that is not easy, right? Because a decade ago, sort of, 12 years ago, it was the cloud. The cloud was the topic of the decade, correct? The cloud. Who cloud? When cloud? Where cloud? And then we were excited to say something on assessing cloud, and now cloud it's here. It is already into the fabrics of our societies and systems, and am I correct? I mean, cloud is there, meaning everywhere. And now it's AI. Yes, I need to talk about AI, even for 3 or 4 minutes, but I need to talk about AI. But not just cloud, but also AI is a fundamental thing, a fundamental aspect of this. I teach on AI. I need to let you know that ISACA is going to release very soon meaning ISACA time, so it's months away, but soon, another certifications on governing AI. So those of you in the room that are CISM certified, Certified Information Security Manager, well, welcome to, I am writing the book. No, excuse me. I am co-writing the book. I am not the only author. I am with other people writing the governance of AI and auditing on AI and certifications, right? So it is critical because I think, and I say with respect, whatever you think about AI, I absolutely respect it, but you don't fight AI these days. You collaborate with AI. Remember 10 years ago, cloud, and it's here, and it has not gone away. Quite on the contrary, it's already on your phone, on your operating system. Actually, you are saving a file, and you don't really know if it's already on your computer, or it's already on OneDrive, iCloud, or it's there. It belongs to the universe of assets at your disposal, right? Well, AI is not going to be that different. So I think that you don't fight it. Forget it about the Terminator or those things of movies, but you shake hands with AI. Actually, one of my sentences on stage, and I'm going to do it because I'm on stage, is let the machines do the work. I mean it. Yes, I said that. Let the machines do the work, comma. But don't forget to be human. Let the machines do the work. Trust or no trust. You know zero trust, and you know that idea of trust nothing, trust no network. I respect that. Well, I go further. No, don't trust or trust as much as you want, but in any of those cases, always verify, meaning do not forget to be human. But let the machines do the work. Enjoy how they amplify, how they expand, how they multiply human, and I apologize for the next term, inabilities. Excuse me, Ramses? No, you're wrong. Because actually, machines expand our abilities. I'm sorry. Again, we can agree or disagree, but machines show us that we are very incapable of doing things, especially with numbers, when it comes to computer science. Oh, machines nail it. ladies and gentlemen. We don't. I don't know you, sir, but I cannot check in the next 3 milliseconds 1 million rows of Excel. I can't. Maybe you can, I cannot. The machine does it without complaint. And it does it relentlessly. So, in my opinion, and again, it's just a matter of terminology, if you will, machines do not amplify our abilities, they amplify our inabilities. And I think that's interesting, because that makes me remember about Iron Man. You know Iron Man, right? Tony Stark. Well, listen, Tony Stark, without the armor, is no one. Well, that's not true. He's one of the most intelligent people in the Marvel universe. I mean, just to be clear. But go with me with the metaphor, right? Actually, Iron Man is not Tony Stark. Iron Man is Tony Stark plus the suit. And the suit amplifies Tony. Multiplies, quite literally, by the way. In a couple of movies, there are different Iron Mans flying around. So it literally multiplies Tony Stark. It amplifies the reach of Tony Stark, because Tony cannot fly, but the suit can. Absolutely. So, in the very same way, and again, I absolutely respect your approach on AI, but asking the right questions to the right people at the right time, as I said 17 minutes ago, I'm going to say it again for cloud, as I said 12 years ago, and as I'm saying today, for you, with you, through you, on AI, asking the right questions to the right people at the right time. Who AI? When AI? Where? Who? What AI? What AI of the dozens, if not hundreds, that you will have at your disposal? AI for healthcare, AI for law, a specific AI to solve one specific problem of the banking industry. There you go. That's not a problem these days. To build something that is memorable on the digital environment, I mean, that is not a problem, quite on the contrary. So, enjoy the ride of AI. Again, shake hands with AI with all of the precautions, with all of the ethics, of course, that we have to do, with all of the compliance and all of the limits, with all of the guardrails that we need to have. Because there are I'm from Europe, I'm from Barcelona, so you know that Europe, we have the AI Act, and you know the drill, right? I mean, good or bad, but it's there for a reason, and we can criticize that, but that has to be off camera, otherwise I will be killed. No, I'm joking. But I mean it. It deserves a conversation. In the very same way that quantum computing deserves a conversation, and cloud deserves a conversation, and we have had, I don't know, millions of conversations of cloud for the past 10, 12 years, correct? And then we nailed it. And then we have, from ISACA, from the Cloud Security Alliance, from the Institute of Internal Auditors. By the way, thank you, the African Federation of the IIA, of the Institute of Internal Auditors, as a sponsor, as a partner of the conference, for having me. I have served the IIA around the world as well, as I'm doing with ISACA. But please do not forget to be human. Especially because, as my cyber police plaque says, consequences will never be the same. We call it cyber because we need to agree that it happens on the digital environment. We call it cyber because we need to understand that it happens on a mobile. It happens on the Wi-Fi. We call it cyber because we need to understand that it was not a physical threat, that it was not me stealing your wallet or your purse, madam. We need to agree that it was not physical. But the consequences, the impact, even in cyber, are nearly always physical. Let me get a little more serious, if I may. I am very serious this morning, but let me get an even more serious tone. When I'm saying cyberbullying, cyber gender violence, oh boy, you can call it all the cyber that you want, but the consequences are sometimes tragically physical. Tragically physical. And yes, it was a cyber attack. It was a cyber thing. Identity theft. If there's any bank in the room, I'm assuming yes, or any other company for that matter. No, it was a cyber incident. Yeah, but the money is not there. Or the data has been stolen. The millions are gone. Oh yeah, but it was a cyber incident. Again, fuck me. Cyber what? The consequences will never be the same. The impact on cyber war, yes, I said it again. War. People die. People get, data stolen, credit cards stolen, lives stolen, energy supply. I know that you know about, how critical is a supply chain, correct? On energy, I mean, you can stop a country. Well, actually, it has already happened, but you know what I'm talking about. But you can stop, you can change the morale of a country, of a region, if they don't have food, if trucks are not going out, if food is not delivered, if energy is not delivered. And in these very digital times, this is at 3 clicks of distance. 1, 2, 3, click, 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 bye-bye, right? So that deserves an approach. And listen, if you have seen me presenting before, and I know that you have, and you of course have seen me presenting dozens of times, I guess, I have used this slide always, probably in thousands of presentations around the world. And I've been doing it for 25 years, and I still do it because this, if I can shut out my mouth, I cannot. I'm Spanish, I'm a talker, I need to speak. But if I do like a dramatic pause, and a silence, and dramatic silence, that's still valid, isn't it? You understand what I'm talking about. Am I correct? That the challenge is that the next big thing in governance, in risk, and in compliance, the next big thing will happen from a keyboard, with a keyboard, through a keyboard, period. Again, unless there are physical things happening, especially war. But at 3 clicks of distance, click, 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 bye-bye. Why? Because it's economically possible and technologically viable. It can happen. It may happen, it will happen in a future that cannot wait. Like Thanos, Marvel, the villain of Thanos, it's inevitable. That's what he says. I am inevitable. Boom, and there you go. Then he fails, because these are his movies. But it's inevitable. The future will not wait. AI will not wait for you, nor for you. It will happen. It's inevitable. So in a future that cannot wait, asking the right questions to the right people at the right time, now and not in the future. If you're going to dislike your future, do it now. Don't send people back here, in the present or in the past, as you wanna call it, in order to right a wrong. Make it right now, by the way, okay? So actually, I don't know if you can see that from afar, but anyway, my colorful picture of boxes, what I'm trying to say here, in the 18 minutes that I have left, is that this is you, some way or the other. My presentation is not technical at all. But it's very technological. Because any company on the planet has most of those boxes in there. What happens is that people don't talk about DNS. What is DNS? Well, I don't know. Somewhere here. We don't talk about KPI sometimes, and PKI, sorry. So we talk about endpoint protection, we understand network protection, identity, encryption, we know about encryption, we understand that. Ramses, well, guess what? Governance, risk, and compliance, cybersecurity, assurance, auditing, monitoring, controls, strategy, tactics is everything everywhere all at once. It's not siloed. Even if you think it's siloed, no, Ramses, but my world is encryption. My world is auditing. I just need to check that the controls are effective and efficient, and that's it. Yes, I give you that. Okay, that's your world. But your world belongs to a universe of technological things. Data loss prevention, single sign-on, federation, access control, tokenization. I didn't say encryption, I said tokenization. That's a variable of encryption. And everything in the middle, everything under the sun. So like in the movie, it is everything, everywhere, all at once. Identity, data, and applications, privacy, social responsibility, governance, risk, compliance, everything, everywhere, all at once. And especially because I teach on quantum computing and the idea of the multiverse and different lines, but that's for another presentation. But I love it. I don't know if you have seen the movie, but the movie, it won 11 Oscars, if I recall correctly. It's beautiful you may like it or dislike it, but at the core, what it says is, everything is happening now. And in your company, sir, and in your company, madam, right now, they're trying to hack. Or they are trying to, something is happening, but not just in silo mode. Everything, everywhere, all at once, in a future that cannot wait. So my invitation in the 15 minutes that I have left, probably less, because I know that we are short in the agenda and there's a breather after my hopefully energetic session and you are being at least entertained this morning. I'm inviting you to connect the dots. You know, when you invite me, Mariam, to be with you and of course the rest of the organization, I said, you know, my overarching goal in Egypt, apart from enjoying this blessed country, again, I mean, with this name, that's pretty impressive. By the way, let me open an anecdote, a parenthesis. You can't imagine what they say at the border. You know, you go into the border into Egypt, and then the guy checks the passport. Ramses? Is that your real name? You know, I mean, so it was a funny time about that. So again, I'm smiling, and I'm having a blast of a time here in Egypt. Let me close the parenthesis. But my overarching goal was to empower you somehow to connect the dots. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Just connect the dots. That's the game I want you to play this morning, and tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, in a future that cannot wait. In a future that cannot wait, just connect the dots. And in case you want a beautiful metaphor of connecting the dots, there you go. That's my metaphor of a metro map, right? That's the digital metro map. And at the heart of the city, I have decided to use what? Governance. I was thinking, oh, Ramses, you can put management, enterprise management, or GRC. I went for the big fish, governance. But that includes governance, risk, and compliance. And in my metaphor of the city, you need to understand the different stops. I am not saying that you have to stop on every stop. In your journey, madam, you need to know where you're going. But you don't have to get off. I mean, get off. You need to stop on every stop, as in the metro. But you need to know your origin and destiny. Am I correct? Listen, I'm a marathoner. I have run 22 marathons already, including New York, Chicago, Boston, Athens, 3 times, Barcelona, 22 marathons already, not too bad. And it's not easy for a 51-year-old guy, 95 kilos. I know I am not the typical marathoner. Why are you laughing? I'm joking. So anyway, no, but I've run 22 marathons. What I'm trying to say is that you train for a marathon, right? Heavily. You don't run it overnight. You know what? Tomorrow I'm going to run a marathon. Excuse me, 26 miles, 42 kilometers. That requires many things, including training, including knowing the origin, start, and the finish line, which is 42 kilometers there. You need to know the journey and the different races that are within a marathon. There are many marathons, I say, that's one of my sayings. There are many marathons within a marathon, 42K, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours running. Wow. So in my metaphor of connecting the dots of the journey, you need to understand identity management. Yes, I'm talking to you auditors. Yeah, I'm talking to you legal people in the room. You need to understand application security and tokenization and encryption and everything in the middle. I am not saying that you have to be an expert. No, you have an army, I'm assuming, you have an army of people doing that for you. But you need to understand this game. Actually, what you need to understand is the line number 1, the structured data line. The data that you know that you know. The data that you know that you know. The data that you have under control. Because you have line number 2, correct? The unstructured data line, which is the data, madam, that you don't know that you don't know. I am not playing with words here. It's the data that you don't know that you don't know. Welcome to the world of shadow IT, shadow data, shadow AI. The data that you don't know that you don't know. Well, this metaphor is good, but just in case someone wants to go deeper into my metaphor of a metro map, I have another one for you, which is the data protection tube, or the data protection metro, or underground. This is just exactly the same, but going deeper into data protection. And all of the things that you have to understand of digital trust, data trust. By the way, digital trust is one of the terms of ISACA. So I had to say it, I'm honored, you know. But, and everything in the middle, different formats, encryption, tokenization, data masking, anonymization, and everything in the middle. Again, I am from Europe, but I'm pretty sure that you know GDPR, right? GDPR already 7 years, well, in May this year is going to be 7 years old. And we still need to talk about this journey on my back. encryption, tokenization. Actually, excuse me, but in the universal question on security, cybersecurity, the universal question, madam, who has access to what? The fifth word, the fifth, not the 15, not the 35. No, who has access to what? There you go, what? Data. Data. In the universal question of cybersecurity, of attestation, of governance, risk, and compliance, the who is imperative, identity. And the what is critical, origin and destiny, like in a marathon, like in a journey. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Start line, finish line, somewhere, and you have to train for that, and you have to prepare for that. So actually, as I'm going to finish soon, you know, I ask an AI, one of those AIs that can generate pictures for you. I am very, very, very bad at drawing. I'm super bad. I don't know how to even start. But I realized with AI that I just need to have the right imagination. I can make a prompt, and in the next 3 seconds, I have dozens of images. So, and with all due respect for religion, any religion, with all due respect for what I'm going to say, and I say it, you know, in a humbled way, but I realized that, and going back to my Iron Man metaphor or comment, I always think about, I am very bad on drawing, but now, coming from the concept of Deus ex machina, God from a machine, that's in Latin, Deus ex machina, God or goddess, if you will, but God or goddess from a machine, I tend to think, and I say with respect, who's the God now? Who's the God now that I can have basically anything I want on my fingerprints? I am very bad at drawing, but I requested to an AI, show me how you feel it was the past or the present of internal auditing, and the AI gave me this. Probably more of the past rather than the present, but it's funny. I didn't make this up. It was my prompt, and then the AI gave me this. But when I asked the AI, well, now show me the future of internal auditing, of assurance, of monitoring, it's funny because the AI sees itself in the future of internal auditing. I didn't make that up. It was the AI showing me, hey, Ramses, I'm going to be there. In your future, in the future of auditing, in the future of assurance, of governance, risk, compliance, cybersecurity, threat detection, threat intelligence, protection, defense, encryption, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be absolutely there. So that requires, I think, an interesting approach. And the same happens with when I requested, you know, past, and so 30 years from now, you know, and then the AI sees itself in education. And this happens in education, government, retail, telco, healthcare, energy, insurance, banking, any industry is impacted by that. Well, let me finish because I only have seven minutes, right? You know what's that, right? How unfortunate it is that it's in the British Museum in London. That should be here, you know, but I was, I know, I feel you 100%. I was 3 months ago for Christmas in London. I was literally last week, you know, but I was in Christmas, I was in the British Museum. If you want, by the way, I haven't put it on the presentation. If you want to see a picture of Ramses, me, with Ramses II just behind, I have it with me, you know, but I'm not wearing, I'm not in a well mood, you know, to be seen, but in case you wanna see me with Ramses II at the British Museum, I'm there, you know, I took the selfie, Ramses with Ramses, anyway. So, but let me go to the power of the Rosetta Stone. And I say it, taking my hat off for you guys. Those are Egyptian hieroglyphics on top, Demotic script in the middle, and ancient Greek at the bottom. This was the dictionary of the epoch. It was the dictionary of the epoch. Because of ancient Greek, we were able to understand what you guys, were writing or painting, or I don't know which verb you use, but we were able to understand and to integrate what you guys were saying here because of not Demotic script, by ancient Greek here at the bottom. That's great. I love it. And you're here this morning and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow for a reason. In my opinion, and again, when you guys invited me to present, which is an honor once again, I said, you need to become the dictionary of this epoch. the dictionary of this epoch. From governance, risk and compliance, assurance, cybersecurity, monitoring, strategy, tactics, metrics, indicators, service levels management, controls, whatever you want to call it, and then business first, business first, business first. In order to do what? Minimize risk. In order to have a vision and a mission and a purpose and a promise. Vision and mission, purpose and promise. That was my intention today, in order for you to become even more, because you are already a dictionary of this epoch. People follow you, madam. And your team is at your command. In privacy, in assurance, in cybersecurity, whatever you guys do. Auditing, monitoring, controls, becoming the dictionary of this epoch. From a technical or technological perspective, remember my colorful slide with all of those boxes? DNS, data loss protection, endpoint protection, cloud governance. Well, into business risk, gap analysis, risk mitigation, risk response, strategy, tactics, all of those things is the language that you speak. Not just Egyptian, not just Demotic script or ancient Greek. That's the business language. Am I correct? This is my last slide, and I'm going to try to do, because I have 4 minutes left. Not now, in 2 minutes, I will try to make a different ending, with your permission, Mariam, and with the permission of the organization and my ISACA fellows and the rest of you. But you know this guy, I mean, there's a graphic novel, I mean, a comic book, but it's not a comic book from Batman and Superman and Spider-Man. It's more of another, they are called graphic novels. It's called Watchmen, from Alan Moore. You have a movie directed by Zack Snyder. It's called Watchmen. It's very, very, very interesting. They also get a TV series, like a prequel to the television, to the movie, that is not well understood. So I would strongly not to see the TV series. It's at Max or HBO Max, whatever you want to call it here. But anyway, the graphic novel is great. The guy that you're seeing on my back, it's called Ozymandias. Ozymandias is how the Greeks knew Ramses II. I mean it, this is not a joke. This is not, probably you know already, but Ozymandias is the name that the Greeks named to Ramses II, okay? Actually, there is a very famous poem by the British poet Percy Bysshe Shelley that says the following: "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look now at my works, you mighty, and despair." Look at what I've done and despair. Well, the poem is longer, you know, but I wanted to mention the finish. My name is Ramses II. Or you, sir, or you, madam. My name is King of Kings, Queen of Queens, if you will. Look at my works, you mighty, you the world, and despair, and celebrate, and applaud what I have achieved. And especially for this conference, you know, GRC Summit, especially because you are, and you will even become more of the dictionary of this epoch. I mean, you have to celebrate that. And by the way, this guy is a superhero because he saves the world. Unfortunately, in the graphic novel, he's a villain because he kills 17 million people. The biggest genocide ever in a graphic novel. What I'm trying to say is that, and this is a little bit of philosophical, I'm not going to go into that, I don't have time for that, but superhero, he saved the world, the whole world, by killing 17 million people. Wow. What I'm trying to say here, that he says that for a world at peace, there has to be some sacrifice. For a corporation that is robust and solid on governance, risk, and compliance, for a country that is rock solid, laser focused, there has to be some sacrifice. And sometimes the sacrifice is money. Yes, sometimes. Sometimes the sacrifice is effort and strength and willingness and the drive and hard work and asking the right questions to the right people at the right time. For a world at peace, there has to be some sacrifice. And if you are going to dislike your future, hopefully not, the moment is now. because the future will not wait. The future cannot wait. My next slide is the thank you. Actually, I'm going to put it now because I need my two hands for my closing, but let me see if it comes now. Does it say thank you there? Shukran? That's what I learned this morning. Okay, so let me stop presenting. Actually, that's my final sentence because I have 34 seconds left. We talk about quantum computing, AI, assurance, governance, risk, compliance, digital identity, and everything in the middle, right? So I want to finish, and because this is being recorded, with a human touch. I want to finish with some considerations for the translators there at the back. I know that I'm very difficult to follow, with my rapid English. I'm a very energetic speech, so kudos for you guys. But I want to finish in a translated way, in a human touch. I'm going to say, in American Sign Language, I am learning the language of signs. I cannot present yet on a full presentation on American Sign Language. I can't. But I can say some things, including the following. And my reminder for you is, a future will not wait. Thank you for having me. Shukran, shukran, shukran. Take care, and I will see you. I will see you the next time. Thank you very much. Shukran. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Back to you, my friend.